three concepts attached to it. And that very word when used for anybody else, maybe a jinn, maybe a malik, the angel, human being, even prophets, even awliya Allah, even Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, all the attributes which they have, they are limited, given to them by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, not their own. They are hadith, not qadim. So these are the three main differences which we must keep in mind, and if we are not cautious, we may confuse the two. Now let me give you an example. We call it in Urdu qudrat, in Arabic qudrah. The authority, the power, is all powerful. We also have some authority. We have also some powers. But if you compare the authority and power of Allah to the power and authority that we have, there can be no ratio between the finite and the infinite. Compared to Allah, we have no power at all. And these are the words in the prayer of istikhara. Many of you might be remembering, because the Prophet ﷺ, the Sahaba say that he taught us this prayer of istikhara just as he taught us the ayat of Quran. And in that we have فَإِنَّكَ تَقْدِرُ وَلَا أَقْدِرُ. You have the authority, you have the power. I don't have any authority, any power. Although we have some, limited, given by him to us. But if you compare the authority that I have, you have, the power that you have and I have, if you compare them to the authority and power of Allah, it is zero. In the same way, ilm, knowledge, huwa bi kulli shayin alim, huwa ala kulli shayin qadir. He is all powerful, he is omnipotent. Wa huwa bi kulli shayin alim. He knows everything. We also know something, but compared to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our knowledge is nil, limited. And only as much he gave to us. I just recited, the famous ayah. It is called Ayatul Kursi. And the Prophet ﷺ has been reported to have said that this ayah is the Sayyidatu Ayatil Quran. It's the, what should be the translation of Sayyidah, the chief ayah of the Quran, the biggest. And this actually deals with the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allahu la ilaha illahu al-hayyul qayyum. He is the living. Now life, hayat, it is another attribute. We are also living. But our life, we call it in Urdu, hayat-e-musta'ar, it's borrowed. He gave us. लाई हयात आए, कज़ा ले चली चले, अपनी खुशी से आए, मैं अपनी खुशी चले. This is our life. He can take it any time, any moment. He can take it back. And then our life needs food, needs rest, needs sleep. But what is the life? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, al-hayyul qayyum, la ta'khuzuhu sinatun wala nawm. His life is not overpowered by sleepiness. Don't confuse your life with his life. Don't guess his life upon your own life. Hell of difference between the life of the living beings we have here and the life of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But haya, the word is common. So these are the three examples And we have, in the same dua istikhara, the prayer of istikhara, فَإِنَّكَ تَعْلَمُ وَلَا أَعْلَمُ. Oh Allah, you know, and I don't know. I gave you yesterday the ayah. It is from Surah Al-Baqarah. عَسَىٰ أَن تَكْرَهُوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ خَيْرٌ لَكُمْ وَعَسَىٰ أَن تُحِبُّوا شَيْئًا وَهُوَ شَرٌّ لَكُمْ وَاللَّهُ يَعْلَمُ وَأَنْتُمْ لَا تَعْلَمُونَ. Maybe you dislike something, it's unpleasant to you, but it is good for you. You don't know it. On the contrary, maybe you love something, you like something. While it is harmful for you, it's not good for you. Sharrun lakum. It's bad for you, it's injurious for you, it's harmful for you. Wallahu ya'lamu wa antum la ta'lamun. Allah knows and you don't know. There's another very beautiful ayah in Surah Bani Israel. وَيَدْعُو الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاهُ بِالْخَيْرِ. It so often happens, and you call it so often happens, that a man is praying for something good according to his own thinking, while that thing is not good for him. So he is praying for something bad for him. وَيَدْعُو الْإِنسَانُ بِالشَّرِّ دُعَاهُ بِالْخَيْرِ. According to his own idea, he is praying for something which is good for him, while actually it is not good for him, it is bad for him. So just imagine, he is asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant for him something which is bad for him. So this is the condition of our knowledge. So that is actually the differentiation, this distinction must always be kept in mind. This solves many problems. One of the very big controversies among our religious people, sects, is whether Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had any knowledge of ghaib or not. It's a very controversial, discussion. When I went and approached some of those, who are very well known as Ahlul Bid'ah, and who believe that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam had the knowledge of ghaib, the unseen, I asked them directly the question, what's your position actually? Let me know. He said, we admit that the knowledge of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was limited. It was given to him, it was not his own. It was hadith, not qadim. I said, then I don't have any difference with you. If you accept these three things, it's not for us to decide whether Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam knew something or not. We don't know. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him a lot of knowledge which we don't know. And the prophethood essentially is based on some knowledge of the ghaib. Well, Jannah, the paradise is ghaib for us. Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was shown that Jannah on the night of Isra, didn't he? Jahannam is ghaib for us, but it was shown to him. Even in this world, once he was praying for rain, what happened? He stepped forward involuntarily, and then he just moved back. The Sahaba asked after the prayer was over, what was this? Is it an integral part of the prayer? We should do it like that? No. When I was praying, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala brought Jannah before me. And involuntarily my hand, that went forward to get some fruit of the Jannah for you. And then the fire of hell was brought before me. And due to the heat, I had to turn back, move back. So this happened in this world. But to speak of Mi'raj, the ascension. So here, the Malaika, they are ghaib for us. But he saw Jibreel, didn't he? وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ بِالْأُفُقِ الْمُبِينِ وَلَقَدْ رَآهُ نَزْلَةً أُخْرَى عِنْدَ سِدْرَةِ الْمُنْتَهَى.